Okay. Nice to meet everybody. My invention was Cattle Smart Technology, which is basically a software designed to manage your cattle herd and help keep your data more together and more automatic so that you're not having to spend so much time doing it. Um, so the software itself is being implemented with a drone that is weatherproofed and it performs your routine checks completely automatic and it's on a time schedule. So instead of checking your cattle in the morning and afternoon, that's something that can automatically just be sent out. The satellite is telling it to go out. And so if the satellite sees any vitals with the EID tag that is implemented with the program, if it sees any off vitals, it's going to send the drone out there to check up on your cows. And you can also see live footage as it's doing that. The drone itself can use facial recognition. It has thermal imaging. What else does it have? It can monitor the water intake, and then grass management is kind of being utilized, and it can guesstimate the weights as well. Let's see. Sorry. So the drone, as it's flying out, it's collecting data points, and so that is going through the satellite into the base that is there at your house. And you also have an app on your phone too that you can be seeing like the location of your cattle at the same time. So when it's flying out and also collecting weights, you can see a daily checkup of the average weights. So you can be trying to utilize your feed in other areas or the grazing patterns that are being checked up on. You could see that you maybe need to move these before they start becoming under conditioned. So ultimately, I would hope it would be helpful to farmers. So thank you.
Very cool. Well, let me get my clock up here and we'll get into the question and answer session. So Jesse, you will start us off. So as soon as you start asking your question, I'll put 7 minutes on the clock and I'll give it to you.
Hi, Nealie. I guess my name is Jessie. So realistically, do you see farmers in the Upper Cumberland or across Tennessee being able to use this product?
I feel like it would be a big financial burden at first, but I feel like over time it would kind of pay for itself with the time you would have spend doing other things. You could have another job. The thing that I would like to look up more is how we could utilize like the satellites. Right now, I have one satellite per drone for every 25 acres, and I feel like that could be utilized a little bit better, and then maybe bring the price down. I know the GPS that is in the RFID tags, those can increase the price quite a bit more. Like just the GPS tags can be like upwards of $100. But just the RFID tags with like a GPS receiver can be as much as just, $5, a few cents to a few dollars. So that's something I would like to think about helping financially, not be as so much of a burden to farmers.
All right, Pete.
I've got a couple. One is like on the software and all, like you kind of design. Have you mapped out like a whole sort of design schematic of how the software would work and all that?
In my head, I do.
Okay.
But like, I have it in my head that, you have your app on your phone, you have your list of your cattle. So you can choose a specific one and it hopefully would have like a map, your whole GPS location of where that satellite covers. So you can kind of pinpoint where they're at. Things like birth weights, birth dates. Those are kind of data points that I feel like you can add on your own or take away. Some people aren't that specific with their cattle herd, but I feel like the GPS, the RFID tags, they have heart rate, temperature, all that stuff are data points that aren't like directly being seen. It's just if they kind of go out of whack, it's like a monitor on the app, you know what I mean? It'll let you know. So that's kind of what I have in my head right now.
What's your major?
Animal science.
Okay. So the technology, do you know software and technology, or are you kind of thinking about learning that?
Well, I've thought about, it's been one thing I've thought about going into engineering and like software. That's just something I've thought about. Even like at work, our software that we use I work at a vet clinic, so I'm always thinking of ways to make our software better and how we can utilize it a little bit better to be more efficient.
Sorry, one more real quick, and I'll punt over to the next person. Did you grow up on a cattle farm, or?
I didn't. I grew up in the nursery business, but through work, we're a large animal clinic, so I've been handling cattle for around 7 years, and now with my boyfriend, we've got like around 50 head that we care for from his family.
Okay. Interesting. I'm done for now.
Randy?
We're good. Yeah, just a couple of questions. Do you see, is that system, could it be shared by a couple of close farmers? Could they share that system to help defray cost, initial startup cost?
I feel like that could be utilized, especially since the satellites can expand a certain range. You know what I mean? I feel like that would be something that they could share. It is something I would definitely look into for sure if that could get the prices down and would be helping another, you know what I mean?
Yeah. In terms of the size of a farmer, what size fit do you see for a number of cattle that would be something that could be kicked off right away? I mean, what level of farm production do you see really?
Right now, the kits that I have is for, one satellite per 25 acres, and that comes with a 50 pack of tags. I feel like that is the average, around 50 head that people have, and around 25, 30, 50 acres, I feel like. But it is capable of being more expanded for like ranchers that are covering hundreds of acres. And like I said, that's something else that I would like to see if I could bring the cost down, because I have seen where other drones are able to cover 75 acres. And, that's something I would like to see if that can be used instead.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
All right. And Kent?
So Jesse kind of touched on this. What sort of feedback have you gotten from farmers? I mean, you've got experience yourself because you've got a number of head of cattle, but what farmers have you contacted to say, hey, would this be helpful? What features would you need? What price point would you be looking at? Those type questions. Have you done those sort of surveys?
I have talked to a couple people through my work, and they're kind of like, older farmers, which I feel like would be the hardest people to tackle with this. But I've had this idea in my head, and I do work at the tech farm. So Amanda, my manager there, kind of like, it gave me like the feeling to go with this, because we was checking cows one day, and she said, I wish there was a way that we could put a tag in their ear and we could use GPS to find out where they're at and take their heart rate and all that. And so she said that she would spend upwards of like $10 on a tag if it was something that would help them out. And I feel like her having to check, 150 head a day, I feel like if she thinks it would be worth it, then hopefully it would be worth it,
Yeah, I can imagine just the math. And there would be a few basic things that were kind of ticked off where, if you're having to spend a certain amount of minutes just go looking for a cow, then yeah, I can see how that translates directly into you've just saved me time. Once we get further down into the weeds where there's data collection and processing and analysis and things like that, it's not as clear cut to me on the trade-off of time versus time spent doing one thing versus time spent doing another.
Yeah. I feel like if a lot of the time, like for her example, and I know us, when we're out working cattle, as soon as we get home, we're having home or to the office, we're having to put all that data in. And I feel like if the drone is out there scanning, taking all these data points and then just transmitting,
that is time
put in. Yeah.